All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you should be on page 5, right?
Yep.
Okay, to cite this source or not cite this source. What does citation mean?
You cite. Like when you
What does that mean?
put it in quotations. To
Whoa,
show
I think several of you know. Let's hear, Peppy.
it's like when you put something in quotations to show that that's not what you said. But
To show it's not what you said. Okay, you're on the right track.
Like giving the person credit for what they say.
Giving the person credit for what they say or what they found.
Like where you got the information.
Where you got the information. Okay, so sometimes, guys, you need to have your pens down for this. Sometimes we get information that's not a quote or an excerpt. I know you guys know. When you get a quote or an excerpt from a piece, you say, said by so-and-so, and you say where it came from, or you put it in parentheses, or we put it at the end of our paper. I know you know that. But sometimes you get information that is not a quote or an excerpt.
it's general.
It's information that not everybody knows. But let me explain a couple things. Think about this. Raise your hand if you knew already that the first president of the United States was George Washington. Okay. And you guys aren't even, most of you aren't even from the U.S., right? Okay. Raise your hand if you knew that the president of the United States right now is Barack Obama. Okay. Okay. Most of you, almost everybody in here, hands down. Raise your hand if you knew that, if you already know right off the top of your head, George Washington's wife's name.
Something
Besides Mrs. Washington.
Mrs. Washington.
Okay. Raise your hand if you already know the 17th president of the United States.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so here's the thing. The first couple questions I asked you guys
We're general.
were general. Almost everybody knows it. Or a good way to test is
Cultura general.
ask a few people. If you ask 5 people and 3 or 4 of them know it, it's probably okay. It's general knowledge. If you ask 5 people and only 1 person knows it, or 2 people or nobody knows it, is it general knowledge?
Yeah.
There's only 1 person out of 5 that you ask? Probably not, okay? So if you have information that's general knowledge, you don't need to cite that. If you have information, like the last 2 questions that I asked you, that not everybody's going to know, and you guys are like, you need to cite where you got that. Even if you don't have it in quotation marks. Okay? You'll need to put in parentheses, and I'll show you how to do it later, where that information came from. Because it's not yours. It's not yours. Okay? You didn't do that research. You didn't find that out on the internet from a whole bunch of people and do your paperwork and turn it in and submit something. You just went to one site, found it, boom, put it in your paper. Okay? You have to think about when the person who wrote that originally in the book, in the article, on the internet, wherever you saw that, where did they get that? How did they get that information? Just from the head, they just went, and it popped up?
Yes.
Oh, from yes.
From other authors that they researched? From maybe a survey they conducted? From maybe some professor's class that they were in working on something with in college or university for their doctorate? So you have to say or give credit to somebody else's information too. So let's look at this. On your 5th page it says, you do not need to cite a source for information if. Look at your examples down here of general facts. So we already talked about general facts. Your first one, George Washington's the first president. We already said we knew that one. We already said Barack Obama. We knew that one. iPhones are created by the Apple company. Raise your hand if you already knew that. Okay. General. One common type of fruit with vitamin C is the orange. Okay, almost all of us knew this. Wheat bread is a type of grain. Okay, wheat bread comes from a type of grain. Okay, we already knew these things. You don't have to cite them. So let's look down at your example sheet. Okay, we have 6 pieces here. Number 1, an average car produces 108 pounds of carbon dioxide, 850 pounds of carbon monoxide, and 55.8 pounds of other oxides.
Yes.
Do we cite it?
Yeah, because it's like super specific and like not lots of people know it.
So we need to write why or why not?
Not general.
Not general info. And did somebody do their research and surveys
It
or
needs to be researched.
so someone else researched these statistics. Someone else got these statistics. Someone else figured it out. You have to give claim or give credit to whoever gave that information before you. Okay? Number 2, if Chileans use hybrid or electric cars, the amount of pollution in Santiago will decrease.
No.
You don't need to cite that. Why?
Because it's general.
It's obvious. Okay? Generally known. Okay? Your job tonight is to finish this. There's only 6 on there. I want to know if you can tell what you need to cite or not, and why you don't or you do need to cite it. Okay? You have a few minutes left in class. You should be able to finish this on your own. Are there any questions? Is this specific to yours or specific to... Okay, I'll come there in 1 second. Begin.
Begin.